Good morning, Vietnam. And for Fredericksburg. Oh yeah, that's right. We got open houses coming up mañana, 1 to 3. So if you're in Fredericksburg, check out the paper, check out social media, and we'll be telling you where they're going to be. Going to have 5 or 6 of them on. Should be fun. So the title of today's episode is Where's Tammy Pat? So my whole point in telling you this is I'll probably do a written post on this as well. But okay, lesson learned. This is not good Wi-Fi here at the Elk and Main red light, so I'll start starting after this from now on, so it doesn't do that. But people have asked, they're like, oh, I can't believe you're talking anything about the city elections, because they know it's my cardinal rule never to talk about politics on social media. And I don't, for several reasons. I'm usually not that interested in the topic. I don't really think usually that it gets you anywhere. So why have I broken my cardinal rule? And in fact, I would dare you to even look back, go way back in the past and look out of curiosity and see if you can find me talking about politics. To my knowledge, I don't know if I've ever said anything political ever on Facebook as a policy. So I've broken my policy, so why? Just so that you know, we own not only a real estate company, but we also own a B&B reservation service. That's very widely known here. We've had it a long time. I've personally owned B&B since 2001 here in town and owned the reservation service since 2007. So, gotta give a Diet Coke. It shouldn't take long. Won't take long, Cocos. Just a large Diet Coke, please. That's it. $1.08, I already know. Okay, moving on. So yeah, I never, ever do. So why do I? Well, I've had various homeowners that I do represent in that business ask other people to, why isn't Tammy saying anything? Why isn't she getting involved? Well, first of all, that's not necessarily true, because whenever they came up with the new ordinance, I went to the first reading, as they call it, where they presented it. I'd already looked into it, and people asked various questions. I made one suggestion, which was simply that the new ordinance would outlaw parties or large gatherings. And I don't have a problem with the concept of it, but I said if a house legally holds 10 or 12 people, that's already a pretty large gathering. So if they go outside, is that already a violation of the ordinance? Ambiguity is the enemy of the law. So my main point was, and at that time, Brian and Jordan spoke up and said, I agree, we need to get that wording clearer, because it's hard to enforce something that's not understandable or not clear. So I went to the first reading. I was not concerned. It was really, we're going to enforce zoning, pay your taxes, always have, health and safety, fire, smoke detector, things like that. Things that were all good things. I'm like, I don't have a problem with that. When the second reading, and we're back again. Okay, so I said I really didn't have an issue with it. We were on a trip for the second reading. Other people went, apparently got passed, and some people I think did apparently have some questions about it or problems and would like to have seen it moved a little slower. In any event, it was passed. I was not overly concerned. So at that point, I'm not overly involved, because we have employees who are helping with enforcement and getting things going. So I'm thinking we're good. Then I start hearing, oh, they're really going to threaten R1. Naive me. I'm like, no, they won't. That's always been the law here. They're not going to change that. That'd be crazy, and there's no way. So I start hearing it from more and more and more people with specific instances of things that council members have said. And then I start to hear, the part that really gets me is when people we represent on one end or the other start saying, yeah, they're asking, where's Absolute Charm? Where's Tammy Pat? Why isn't she here? Why isn't she talking to us? And when they don't hear from one person, but from 2 city officials and 1 of the elected candidates, then I don't really have any choice but to get involved. When they're throwing my name around, why isn't she involved? Why isn't she up here talking to us? Well, really, because I think you're doing a fine job at the moment. And I'm having trouble believing that you're going to try to stop B&Bs in R1 zoning. Why would I be there? Why do you need to hear from me? I just really don't think my opinion has to be heard 24/7 on an issue. So as I was saying, I really like to assume people are doing their job until I have to assume otherwise. Me, I'm kind of the positive thinking person here. So I don't think they're needing to hear from me. But apparently, if they're going to call me out by name and make it look to people I represent as if I'm not doing my job somehow, Great. So I've been to 4 of these council meetings or forums, various, whatever you want to call, different ones. Like one was put on by the chamber for the council. And for the love of all things video, can someone please tell me, oh, they got a problem there. Could someone please tell me how to get a booster or something for the signal in this car? Unbelievable. Okay, in any event, so last night was a realtor forum for the candidates. All very enlightening. So I feel like 4 of these things within 2 weeks, I've heard from each and every one of the candidates. Of course, I've spoken to the 3. And I'm back again. I'm mainly letting this go to be able to see, at the end, I want to see how this thing patches together. This is the worst Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, data service I've ever had. In any event, last night was a realtor forum. So I've heard from all the candidates. I know Jim, probably the best, have had many, many conversations, and I've always found him to be just very down to earth. I love that. He doesn't overreact. He doesn't dramatize things, and people that know me will say, I have no use for drama whatsoever, or the patience for it. I like to get things done. So, bottom line, I called Bobby Watson and had Bobby come in and visit. He and I were in leadership together back in the day. Have nothing but good things to say. He's a nice, nice man. We had a nice little chat. He was very gracious to come over and visit, and I said, look, Bobby, you may win. I don't know who's going to win, and I want to work for the good of the town with no matter whoever it is that wins. And whatever we can do, if there's anything we can do to ameliorate concerns or to work with the city, that's what we want to do. No one here is in favor of people being loud, rude, obnoxious, disrespectful of the neighborhoods. No one, for goodness sake, is in favor of people not paying taxes or violating zoning. I have one issue and one issue only, is don't change the existing zoning to take away the rights of those people who have made the investment. That's it. I said, you see Tim's sign in my yard? He said, why Tim? I said, I'm voting for the most clearly vocal candidate who I feel will not take away our R1 rights. And I said, Bobby, I was in the Chambers forum, and you stood up and said that you'd be in favor of grandfathering R1 B&Bs. And he said, yeah. And I said, you don't need to grandfather something if you're not going to change the law. There's no such thing. And he just nodded. And I said, you know, and so you got to understand my position. And that's true. Why do you keep saying you're going to grandfather something if you're not going to change the law? That's not a thing. And that's okay. That's okay to have that view. And it's okay for me not to vote for someone if that's not my view. That's okay. In some ways, I will give Linda the most props in some ways. She, I think, is the clearest sometimes on what she thinks about things, and I respect that. It may not be what I think, but I respect anyone who's made their position clear. So I haven't felt a need really to talk to her about it, but I'm always happy to, open to work with anybody that wants to work for the good of the city, and I'm sure we can come to an agreement. So yeah, anyone else that wants to meet with me, apparently maybe I need to go up to the city today. I don't know, what do you guys think? Because apparently the city's concerned about where am I, why am I not talking? So I just got to say, you know, I don't know how they like me now. They probably wish they'd left that alone, but just doing what I think I need to do to tell the truth and tell my side of things. Only doing it because I've been kind of called out for not having done enough about it. So we'll see how this all plays out, and either way, it's going to be fine. I'm not a world's coming to an end kind of person, so I'm sure we'll be good, and I'll let you know what happens next. Talk to y'all later.